How can I tell you that answers aren't easy and questions keep coming along? Times when we do what we think is the best, but we end up getting it wrong. But there is a light up ahead, chasing the darkness away. Head for that light if you can, and listen to what your heart says, what it says. Now you're here at the border, and they're checking your papers to see if they'll let you come in. Are you for real, the person you say you are, or are all your details a sham? Then they'll shine that light in your eyes, searching for truth in your stare. How will they know what they see, and how will they know if you care, if they care? We seem to be living in awkward times. Are they getting worse by the day? Trying to find a way to heal all our wounds and chase the darkness away. Out of the shadows and into the sun's bright rays. So you're out past the frontier and into the forest, and you're making your way through the trees. The sun dapples down through the branches above you, and the leaves whisper soft in the breeze. But you can't find the path you are seeking. Won't somebody show you the way? Is it the one to the left or the right? Should you listen to what they all say, what they say? Out in the clearing, the horizon is endless, but the journey has only just begun. The choices we make, the positions we take, and we know they're not the only ones. When you hear all the voices around you saying you've got it all wrong, just have to hope you made the right choice, and that someday we'll all get along. We'll get along. We seem to be living in awkward times. Are they getting worse by the day? Trying to find a way to heal all our wounds and chase the darkness away. Out of the shadows and into the sun's bright rays. So how can I tell you that answers are easy and questions keep coming along? Times when we do what we think is the best, but we end up getting it wrong. We seem to be living in awkward times. Are they getting worse by the day? Trying to find a way to heal all our wounds and chase the darkness away. Out of the shadows and into the sun's bright rays. Oh, and into the sun's bright rays.
Hello everyone and welcome to our concert. Now that was Awkward Times, and boy, we've been living through some awkward times. And this is the amazing Jennifer Bingham. Thank you very much, Jennifer, and you'll be hearing from her towards the end of our program. Thanks a lot, Jennifer. And behind me, the Ad Hoc String Ensemble. And that's Maestro Steve Bingham here, leading the show, a good friend, and next to him, Ross Chalmers, playing violin as well, and we have Brenda Stewart on viola, and she's not just the world's greatest viola player, but she's also the rector of this beautiful church. We're in All Saints, Whiten, this hallowed and wonderful space, and so enormous thanks to her and the parish council of this church for letting us offer you the concert from All Saints Church, Whiten. And next to her, the first time in the ad hoc string ensemble, but it's lovely to have you, is Estelle Fernell. And then we have the wonderful Josh Lynch. You'll be seeing and hearing a lot more of him as the evening goes on. And finally on double bass, Phil Toms, fantastic double bass player. And not only a fantastic double bass player, but all the string arrangements you hear this evening have been written by Phil, who is responsible for the beautiful sound that you'll hear around me. So that was Awkward Times, and now we're going to move on to a song called We Will Rise Again. So on the day after Donald Trump became the president, I rang my brother to talk about it, and being a bit of an old drama queen, really, he said, he said, the age of enlightenment is dead. And so I sat down to write what I thought was a slightly funny song about that, and it turned out to be less funny as it went on. And of course now, with whole movements like Black Lives Matter and things like that, it seems to be more relevant than ever. So this is called We Will Rise Again. After the rain came falling and the truth was washed away, I called my brother on the telephone just to see what he would say. He said, leave me here to mourn a while and rest my weary head. All the light is darkness now, enlightenment is dead. And when the shock was over and it seemed all hope had gone, I asked my sister what we should do. She said, we must be strong. 'Cause even after the blackest night, the sun comes up at dawn. So grieve a while and then stand tall, the struggle carries on. And I say, we will rise again. We will rise again. We will rise, and then we will sing, and we will rise again. I asked the people on my side of the street how things had got this bad, but no one had any answers. They just walked past looking sad. And on the other side of the street was the gunning, churning throng, who told me what a fool I'd been, how I'd got the whole thing wrong. And the message they were giving seemed empty, full of hate. They said it's all someone else's fault, lock them up before it's too late. We'll
build a wall around us, stop outsiders getting in, 'cause we've got right on our side. You lost, we won. But I say we will rise again. We will rise again. We will rise, and then we will sing, and we will rise again. But even on the blackest days, hope flickers in the wind. Come hear the songs of freedom that the righteous people sing. And for every dull-eyed zealot, there are 5 good people true. So raise your voices, walk with us, let justice bloom anew. And we will rise again. We will rise again. We will rise, and then we will sing, and we will rise again. We will rise again. We will rise again. We will rise, and then we will sing, and we will rise again. We will rise again. And now the sextet are going to leave, and Maestro Steve Bingham is going to stay behind to play us some beautiful violin.
This is a little piece called Kayla by Suzanne Lundeng. It's a Scandinavian folk tune for solo violin, and it makes use of the violin's ability to do 2 notes at once, played on 2 strings. It's just great fun.
In 1873, a harp player from Sweden called Olof Sjöden went to visit his friend Samuel Ferguson in Dublin, and he was looking for new tunes for his harp playing, his concerts. He was apparently known as the Paganini of the harp. And Mary Ferguson, Samuel's wife, said, well, I've got this tune which I collected in the west of Ireland. It's a folk tune called The Tailor's Son, and this was the tune. And Olof said, that's a beautiful tune, he said, but I wonder, Samuel, could you write me some words for it? Because then I could sing it. And Samuel Ferguson was well known as a poet, and in literary circles in Dublin, he was a lawyer and a poet and so on and so forth. And so he sat down and wrote some words, and he called his words The Lark in the Clear Air. Dear thoughts are in my mind, and my spirit soars enchanted as I hear the sweet lark singing in the clear air of the day. For a tender dreaming smile to my hope has been granted, and tomorrow she will hear all my fond heart hopes to say. I will tell her of my love, of my heart's pure adoration, and I know she will hear my voice, and she will not answer me nay. And it is this that gives my soul such a joyous elation, as I hear the sweet lark sing in the clear air of the day. Dear thoughts are in my mind, and my spirit soars enchanted as I hear the sweet lark sing in the clear air of the day. The lark in the clear air. So in 2016, I was in Girona in Catalonia in Spain, and I'd just spent the day visiting schools, and I came back to my hotel room and I hooked up to the internet to check out what was going on in the world. And you will all remember this day. The first thing I saw was a picture of a man called Nigel Farage, and he was standing in front of a poster of desperate refugees, and he was smiling and chatting with journalists and using it as a way to try and persuade people of his opinion. And the next thing we heard on the very same day was about the murder of Jo Cox, a young 41-year-old woman who seems to be one of the best members of Parliament there's ever been, and her philosophy, it was just incredibly moving. It was a terrible day, anyway. And so the next day I flew home, and on the plane on the way back I wrote a song about it, which these two events had provoked, and it's called The Dove. Remember I was 16 when the news came down the wire, and all us young lads sat and stared and felt the heat of fire. For a young man down in Dallas, a town of myth and magic lore, used a gun and petty hatred for his own sad, lonely war. Or later still in Mexico, in the ease of early days, and the New York TV said Chapman, a man bug-eyed and crazed, had shot and killed the best of us, even if he was bizarre. But his music, passion, life and joy had got us all this far. So you can say you're being reasonable, it's only what you know. But when you talk up fear of otherness, we reap just what you sow. You can stand before the cameras, smile and gurn at what you've done. But when you stoke up lies and hatred, madmen will get their guns. Or an evening in Old Compton Street, when a small, sad, lonely fool used a little bag of nails and trash, and he thought he was so cool. Or further down the track and worse, another had a go at targeting the other in the hate of Orlando. And the people there lay dead and hurt, but the hate became a dove, which saw what he had done and wept and turned it into love. A name that lives in infamy, Timothy McVeigh, and they told him it was someone else's fault, politicos, not he, for the government is bad, you see, and he heard the cynic hate, and he was thick and he was evil down in Oklahoma State. So you can say you're being reasonable, it's only what you know. But when you talk up fear of others, we reap just what you sow. You can stand before the cameras, smile and gurn at what you've done. But when you stoke up lies and hatred, madmen will get their guns. I was sitting in my hotel room in the Catalonia dusk, and suddenly I'm crying, 'cause the news this time's too much. On the one hand is a so-called leader using refugees as meat, and the other is a perfect world lying dying in the street. And she talked of us together and how we live as one. But the bigotry of racists fought a madman with a gun. And good people heard the dreadful news, and their sorrow was a dove which saw what we had held and lost and turned it into love. So you can say you're being reasonable, it's only what you know. But when you talk up fear of otherness, we reap
just what you sow. You can stand before the cameras, smile and grin at what you've done, but when you stoke up lies and hatred, madmen will get their guns. I reject your vulture politics, 'cause I prefer the dove. She said we're all in this together, then what remains of us is love.
So my eldest granddaughter is 5 now, but when she was about 2 months old, I was sort of thinking about the kind of world she was being born into and growing up in. And so I wrote her a song. This is called Freya's Song.
I turned on the radio just the other day, heard the news and it was bad. People crying, people sad, other people trying to ruin what we have to get their way. So much senseless slaughter nearly every day it seems. Bombs in the city, guns in school, angry zealots trying to play it cool, but they're just schoolyard bullies playing the fool for their crackpot dreams. But fear not, see here, the dawn will come breaking with the morning light. Don't you worry, the sun will come shining through. Fear not, see here, the dawn will come breaking with the morning light. Don't you worry, the sun will come shining through. The sun will come shining through. I fired up the computer and the screen filled up with tears. Young kids dying on the oily sea, families trying to be safe, trying to be free. People just like you, just like me, fleeing their fears. And the rich man still in his castle, the poor are at the gate. The world's not fair and that's a fact, never gonna change unless we act. Gotta get this poor old planet back on track before it's too late. But fear not, see here, the dawn will come breaking with the morning light. Don't you worry, the sun will come shining through. Fear not, see here, the dawn will come breaking with the morning light. Don't you worry, the sun will come shining through. The sun will come shining through. And then just yesterday I held you in my arms. Never felt so big, never felt so small, never wanted less, 'cause now I had it all. Knew I'd walk through fire, God, I'd even crawl to keep you from harm. 'Cause in this world you've come to, there are people brave and strong, people who will see you through Good people, funny people too, people who will care for you long after I am gone. So fear not, see here, the dawn will come breaking with the morning light. Don't you worry, the sun will come shining through. Fear not, see here, the dawn will come breaking with the morning light. Don't you worry, the sun will come shining through. Yes, there is bad stuff too, and I guess there'll always be fear in the morning, terror at night, the president's fortress and the migrants' flight. But there are people too trying to make it right for you and me. People trying to make it right for you and me. People trying to make it right could be you and me. It could be you and me. People trying to make it right could be you and me. Oh, yeah. People trying to make it right could be you and me.
Phrase song. And now, apart from Josh, the sextet's going to leave because we're going to have a chance to listen to Josh playing on his own.
It's a real pleasure to be able to play for this session today, and it's a wonderful pleasure also to play in this fantastic church which is so well suited to playing the cello. I'm going to play the Allemande from Bach's First Suite.
Josh Lynch, everyone, the wonderful Josh Lynch. Thank you, Josh, that was fabulous. Josh and I have had the great pleasure of performing together a number of times as a duo, and so we're going to do that again now. And we're going to start with a song called Burning Tires, and this is the result of seeing a picture on the BBC website during the battle for Aleppo of these kids surrounding a pile of burning tires, and they were trying to make big black smoke because they hoped that that would stop the bombers, Russian or otherwise, from bombing the hell out of their city. And I remember looking at that photo and thinking how unbelievably different and fortunate my life as a child was. So this is Burning Tires.
There in the photograph, proud grubby faces in front of a pile of burning tires. The Children's Defence Force to stop the big aeroplanes from dropping their bombs from the skies. But as for me, when I look back, I remember sunshine, the midges that danced in the heat, sweet lemonade, swimming in clear streams and staying up late for a treat. That's the life that they should be having, summer sweet. There in the photograph, down at the water's edge, a young boy face down in the sand. The glittering waves wash his poor lifeless body, bereft of a future once planned. But when I look back, I remember surfing, all the fun that we had at Polsed. The wind on our bodies, the wet sand beneath us, warm towels laughing, catching our breath. That's the life that he should have had instead of this pointless death. There in the photograph, knee-deep in muddy ground, a small girl stands all alone, clutching a plastic doll. She's a refugee, trying to remember a place called home. But as for me, when I look back, I remember the fireside, tea and biscuits and a story for bed. Under the covers, safe from the thunder, and nothing much to trouble my young head. That's the life that she should be having instead. But this is the life we have given them, with our greed and our bloody wars. Our hearts break when we see the photographs, but it's us, we are the cause. So here in this last photograph, taken just yesterday, seems like everything is fine. Look, the children are growing up, they're all happy together. You can almost hear the laughter flow like wine. But in my mind's eye, still see the Children's Defense Force, the young boy lying dead on the beach. The refugee children fleeing wars that we made for them, and praying it's safety they'll reach. If only we could learn the lessons the photographs teach. 'Cause they're in the photograph. They're in the photograph. They're in those photographs.
Burning Towers. The other day I was listening to the radio and I heard a piece of classical music, at least I thought it was at the beginning, a singer and an orchestra singing this incredible tune, but it suddenly became quite clear it wasn't. It must be a folk song, it must be an old folk song. And so I quickly looked it up, and it turns out indeed that it's a fragment of a ballad from the late 1800s, which was collected in a book of Northern Ballads. And I just fell in love with it. I think it's beautiful. It's one of those stories about young men trying to knock on the doors of the girls they're in love with, and whatever happens then. And then, of course, I discovered that the great Shirley Collins had heard this fragment and recorded it way back in the 1960s or 70s. Anyway, that's the story. It's called I Drew My Ship into the Harbour, and this is our version of it. I drew my ship into the harbour, I drew across to where my true love lay. I drew it close to her bedroom window to listen to what my true love would say. Who's there, who's there, outside my bedroom window, who shouts so loudly to come in? Oh, 'tis your true love who loves you dearly. So come ye down and let me in, and I will put my ship in order, and I will set it on the sea, and I will come to the harbor where my true love, she waits for me. And slowly, slowly, slowly she rose up, and slowly, slowly came she down. But by the time she had the door unlocked, her true love had both come and gone. And
and I will put my ship in order, and I will set it on the sea, and I will come to the harbor where my true love, she waits for me. Come back, come back, come back, my true love, she said. Come back, she said, and be by my side. I never grieved you, never deceived you, and someday soon I'll be your bride. Oh, fish may fly and the seas run dry, my love, and the rocks will melt, the rocks will all melt in the sun, and labouring men will cease their labour before that I come back this way again. And I will put my ship in order, and I will set it on the sea, and I will come to the harbor where my true love, she waits for me. Yes, I will put my ship in order, and I will set it on the sea, and I will come to the harbor where my true love, she waits for me, where my true love, she waits for me, where my true love, she waits for me. Mr. Josh Lynch, joined by Mr. Steve Bingham. Thank you both so very much. That was wonderful. Thank you. As I'm sure you can hear or you can see, we're having a few storms today, and that's why the light's been fluctuating and stuff like that. And it's strange because recently the weather's been absolutely beautiful and calm. And one of the manifestations of that, of course, have been these dinghies full of people trying to cross the channel and come to Britain. And some of our political commentators call it an invasion, and they call it shameful. But I don't think it's anything of the kind. I think it's people just trying to find a better life for themselves, just as we would in the same situation. And I wrote a song about what it must feel like to be in that kind of situation. And for many of these people, they've never been anywhere near the sea before. And so this is a song called The Water's Edge. Down at the water's edge, watching the waves scrape the pebbled shore, trying not to think of the inky depths. I've never been on water before. And we all gather round the men who know, as they lead us to the waiting craft. Looks to me more like a faded dream, with its battered faces fore and aft. And my God, I'd give the world to go back to the place I lived and loved so well. But they ripped the sun right out of the sky and turned my heaven into a living hell. I see her now, leading the sheep to the pastures green. She had the sweetest beauty I've ever seen, but she went away when things got bad, took the voyage across the sea, and now I have to find her, for she means the world. She's the only world left for me. Stars, shine your light, bring me back safe to the one I love. Take these night fears from me, bring me blessings from above. Moon, shine your silver light and calm the heaving sea. Cast your grace upon us, this struggling mass of humanity. For there's terror behind and there's hope ahead, and we're balanced between them now, to find the ones we love and be in safety's arms and live a normal life, and live a normal life somehow. And I stayed behind in my father's house, a place I always held so dear. It was my honor and my duty to try and keep the family safe in a village wrapped in fear. But it's over now, and they've all gone, and everything I know is no more. So I packed my bag to travel the world, to find a place that I can call home. And my God, I'd give the world to go back to the place I lived and loved so well. But they ripped the sun right out of the sky and turned my heaven into a living hell. I see her now in some foreign land, and when I stand beside her, pray God she offers me a helping hand. And that's why I have to find her, have to trust these men I see, 'cause then all these nightmares will be over, 'cause she means the world. She's the only world left for me. Stars, shine your light, bring me back safe to the one I love. Take these night fears from me, bring me blessings from above. Moon, shine your silver light and calm the heaving sea. Cast your grace upon us, this struggling mass of humanity. For there's terror behind and hope ahead, and we're balanced between them now. To find the ones we love and be in safety's arms and live a normal life. And live a normal life. Please let us live a normal life somehow.
The Water's Edge. At the end of Great Expectations, one of the most popular novels ever written in the English language, Pip, who's learnt a lot in his life, goes back to the ruins of Satis Hall, where he had once suffered from his love for the young girl Estella. And to his surprise, because Satis Hall has burnt down, to his surprise there, in the gathering darkness, a figure comes towards him, and it's how Charles Dickens chose to end Great Expectations. Well, I just decided to rewrite the chapter. I've called it Pip's Waltz. I came to the place at the end of the day, with the mist rising up as the light ebbed away, and I looked at the ruins with an ache in my heart. I said my goodbyes and I wished for a new start. I thought of the times when I was a boy, moments of pain and the moments of joy, and the love that had hurt me forever back then. And I wondered, would I ever love again? Then out of the darkness a figure appeared, tall and thin, dressed in black. A ghost I feared, but the ghost walked towards me and called out my name. Then the moon touched her cheek and I knew her again, and I said, how can it be that you come to this place on the same night as me, and we meet face to face? And she looked at me sadly and held up her hand, as if maybe I'd understand. I sat down beside her as stars filled the sky. The moon shone on diamonds, they were tears in her eyes. She was still the same person that I once had known. Then clouds hid the moon and she looked so alone. A jumble of thoughts swirled round my mind. Would she still be so cruel, or could she be kind to me? What should I say to her? What should I do?
should I just walk away? Or should I trust her anew? And she said, I have been broken and bent on the wheel by the things I've done and seen and the way they made me feel. But I think that I'm wiser and in a far better place. She talked with great passion from her sad, earnest face. So I told her that I had made friends over there and had realized my folly and had learned how to care. And she held up her hand to give comfort, and then I was lost and I loved her again. And as the clouds parted, the moon shone down bright on the two of us there in the silvery light, and we talked till near dawn. And I asked her to say, would she stay close to me or would she go away? And she said, I cannot tell, but at last we're friends. That's how it starts, let's see how it ends.
Pips Waltz. And for our final song, we're going to go to a song which was part of an oratorio for orchestra and kids and adults and so on and so forth. It was commissioned by Ely Symphonia, which is run by Ross Chalmers here, and which involved narration and some songs, and then the incredible orchestration and more music from Phil Toms over there. So this is an oratorio that the two of us wrote. And in the story, which I won't go into the whole story, but in the story, two halves of the island are preparing for war, and two parents of two separate children sing a song in which they desperately hope the war won't happen. It's called A Song of Peace, and it seemed a good song to end with because it's what we wish all of you, for all of you. And in these strange times we're living in, please stay safe. So this is A Song of Peace, and here's Jennifer Bingham again. So here we go.
Tell our children to be gentle, 'cause then they're strong. We try our best to teach them right from wrong. We say instead of fighting, they should learn a song. Instead of fighting, they should learn a song. Should learn a song of peace. But when they look around the world, what do they see? Some men have power, but some are chained and never free. And then they ask us, which will it be for me? Which will it be? Which will it be? They ask, which will it be for me?
We have to find better way to solve our problems, all our problems day by day. Let's talk this through, let's put the guns away. We have to find, please let us find. We have to find a better way. We have to stop the storm clouds coming near. We've never fought, so we don't want fighting here. Our sons and daughters should never live in fear. We have to stop, please let us stop. We have to stop, we don't want fighting here.
We tell our children to be gentle, 'cause then they're strong. We try our best to teach them right from wrong.
Our sons and daughters should never live in fear. We have to stop, please let us stop. We have to stop, we don't want fighting here. I pray this sudden dash to war will somehow cease, and the song we're singing will be a song of peace, to banish fear and bring us all release. And the song we sing, the song we sing, the song we sing will be a song of peace.
Thank you very much for listening to us. Jennifer Bingham, ladies and gentlemen. Maestro Steve Bingham, if you don't mind. Thank you very much. The wonderful Josh Lynch, please. Super arranger Phil Toms and double bassist, please. And the ad hoc string ensemble. Thank you for listening to us. As I say, stay safe and goodbye. See you later. Bye-bye.